I've been lucky enough to have some of the world's best golf fittings to help improve my game. Today I'm going to show you two of the sets I got fitted for in 2025 and see just which ones perform best for me. So on the top we have the Tacoma 301 split set. Now these you can buy the heads only for £469 and the LA Golf shafts cost circa £100 each. So realistically here, these are setting me back £1,169. That was quick maths, wasn't it, Bob? I also have a set of Titleist T150 irons with a T254 iron. I got fitted at TPC Woburn Titleist Premium Fitting Centre for these. These will cost you circa £1,300. You can get a stock set for around £1,200. Now, a lot of people think these Tacomos are the budget option, but I've shown that with these shafts in and with these fitting components, these irons actually cost very, very similar. So which one's going to come out on top, guys? Get in the comments below. Have you ever had a club fitting in the past? Would you be tempted into a club fitting in 2026? And what brand would you prefer to get fitted for the most? Now, we'll start off with the 4-irons here, because the 4-irons are quite a contentious issue. Bob, what's under this towel, do you know? We're not allowed to talk about it, are we? It's embargo. So guys, hit that subscribe button if you want to see what's under there. That's coming in about a week's time, and it's very, very, very exciting. But you can see two totally different head styles here with the Titleist and the Tacoma 4-irons. The 4-iron, of course, in the Tacoma's 301 CB. Now, I could have put a 101T in there for this, which would have made sense if I wanted a really nice forgiving 4-iron like the Titleist. The thing with Titleist is I got to try everything. It was a remarkable fitting. The guys at TPC Woburn are absolutely fantastic, some of the best in the game. I'd have them up there with the PXG fitters. I think PXG do fitting on an amazing level, but at Titleist it was really, really good. Now, I'm going to tell you something about the Tacoma fitting in a minute, which will blow your socks off. Honestly, it's going to absolutely blow your socks off. But 4-iron, we're going to talk numbers in this video, but we're also going to hit some shots with all the clubs. So I'm looking for a nice mid-trajectory ball flight with this. This is a T250. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. Not too high, not too low. It was a bit of a toey strike. I could tell that by the feel of that club, and we've got a nice turf interaction. Now, the beauty about the T250 is it doesn't look overly big compared to the T150, so it blends into the set really nicely. I did a video just the other day with a T100, so the really small Titleist iron. I think it's fair to say that wasn't for me. I didn't fancy it, Bob. It was too small. Do we have the versatility with this to be able to play it down? You can, especially if you pull it just like that one. That's gone quite a long way left, but it's that nice lower flight. So again, we'll take that quite happily. Now, Bob, can you tell me the difference between my 4-iron shaft in this Tacoma and my pitching wedge shaft in here? If I just show you.
I do.
What?
Different weights.
They are different weights, so I've got an A series and an L series, so they're the same price, but basically, so Lawrence at SGGT, the man, the myth, the legend, hats off to Lawrence, said, James, you can have this head and still have an element of forgiveness and ease of launch, because you don't necessarily need too much technology within the head of the club. You can strike a ball, you're a PGA pro, unless you have like a head off, you're going to be okay. So we put a lighter shaft in there, and that's where for me, whenever you go club fitting, I'm talking about levels of fittings here. An SGGT fit you for 4-iron, 6-iron, 8-iron pitching wedge, shaft and head. So being able to put a different shaft in this head, that was remarkable. Yes, we have a different shaft in the 4-iron in the Titleist set, but that was a little bit of guesswork. That was like, oh, here's a demo one and have a go because it's a driving iron. So realistically, I actually have a lighter shaft in the 5-iron as well. Let's see how this Tacoma with the LA Golf shaft goes. So that's more of a mid-flight for me. That's in between the two flights of the Titleist, and again a pretty nice strike with that club. Let's go one more and let's try and play the Tacoma down, because funnily enough the Tacoma is going to have more versatility just because of the head makeup. If I'd have gone T150 4-iron, again we'd have the element of more versatility, which for me, versatility is almost as important as forgiveness. Not as important, but I want to be able to chip a 4-iron down the middle of the fairway, and hopefully I don't pull this one like I did the Titleist. That's the shot. That's the shot why I absolutely love this set of irons, and to be honest, I'm very much at war with myself about what set of clubs to have in the bag, because I'm well aware of how lucky I am to have these clubs and to have such good club fittings as well. I even had a fitting over in Munich, Germany with the guys at Weiss. That was a very different fitting because we only had two head options to go out. We had the VGIO1 and the VGIO2, both of which quite hollow body design, quite powerful. So I haven't put them in this set because it's a very, very different set, but very fun nevertheless. Let's get down there, see where these are, and talk some numbers for these four-irons. Okay, so we can throw a blanket over, well, an Alex Etchers blanket over three of these, because you can see these are all very close together. Now, the Titleist T250 is the further one, so that's fine. That's obviously a stronger head design, and it's got the graphite shaft in there. So the LA Golf shafts aren't graphite, they're actually steel. They just look incredible, and they do look like graphite shafts. I'm really pleased with the Takomos though, because the mid-flight and the low-flight have gone exactly the same distance, obviously just 10 yards apart, left to right dispersion. We also have the T250 that I pulled, which was the low shot, which is again level with that. So they've both gone the same distance again. Very, very happy. Well aware that the 4-iron in the Titleist set does go further than the 4-iron in the Takomo set. It's not really a fair comparison, but that's how fittings go sometimes. And obviously you make your bed, you lie in it, don't you? Especially if it's got Alex Etchers sheets in it. Lots of us could lie in that, couldn't they? He's a big lad, he's a big lad. Right, so rather perfectly, we've actually left ourselves with 125 yards in to this hole. So we can talk about the pitching wedges here. Now the pitching wedges are different heads again, and it's really interesting how I can have these fittings, and of course, so at Tacoma I bought, kind of get the heads only. You can see I got the copper ones because they were those limited edition ones. I think they look fantastic. So it's a bladed iron, it's a 301 MB in the Tacoma, whereas with the T150, you can see it's that T150, so it is that CB head. I do like how it says the loft on there. I think, you know, when you're looking down at your wedges, you're like, oh, I've got a 50, I've got a... And that's obviously that kind of positive reinforcement. So we'll go Tacoma first this time. See, and it's funny because this now comes down to, right, how close can we get to that hole? Because I know that my pitching wedge goes around 125. So I'm not expecting any jumpers, because that's why I have this head in both of them, to be honest. You don't expect to fly, you just expect it to perform well. And of course we've got the slightly heavier shaft in here, we've got the L series. Yeah, that's the other thing. So I've got these pured as well. It's a terrible example because there's no sticker on this one, but if we have a look at the other shafts, should still have the pured stickers on them. So a lot of people say, James, why are your shafts all like different orientations in the clubs? And that's just down to the puring of the shafts where the spine are. And again, something that SGGT leave no stone unturned. Right, come on. That felt fantastic. I've left it out to the right a little bit, but as soon as I hit a club like this, I know what it's like for distance, and that's a really nice place to be. That's what club fitting offers you with both of these sets. If I misstrike it slightly, I know where it's going to be, and if I'm looking to cover a bunker, I'm going to aim away from that bunker. So being safe in the knowledge of what you're doing. I'm not going to try and flight these down because there's no real need to. Oh, that's all over it. So at 125, I'm thinking now, right, is that going to be 10 feet away because it's gone just left of the flag? And when we get up there, hopefully that's what we're going to see with these clubs. Now, slight issue with these, because I do like them, but I feel like as we get to this time of year, and I have said this in a bit of a long-term review of these clubs, these shafts do start to feel a little bit stout, a little bit stiffer because of the cold. Obviously steel warms up at temperature, Bob, doesn't it? So I do feel as though cold mornings like this, it's a bit harder. Shafts in these it's just a KBS 120, and like that for me is such a good shaft. It's a shaft that actually, funnily enough, did come as standard in the Tacomos. I've just thought of that. That's weird, isn't it? But it's a good shaft, and I like the shaft. It's a shaft that a lot of the D2C brands are using. Looking down at the heads, actually, very similar loft, very similar makeup. Obviously there is a little bit of a difference in offset and things like that, but realistically two very, very good looking clubs, I think. And I do like having the copper head. I think they've worn nicely. It's like an industrial look. Something to beat there though, because they're not stone dead. How good can we be with the T150? Interesting, because that was a little bit skinny, but I think it's still gone the distance. What's happened? Did a divot come and get you?
Nearly, but I thought you were going to get a bird as well.
Really? A seagull? Right, so we've tested forgiveness on there. And that's the one that, again, slightly left of it, but I'm hoping those two have gone exactly the same distance, because if they have, that shows the area of forgiveness that's potentially in this 150 head as well. Let's get up there and see where those have finished, and let's talk some numbers for these pitching wedges. So 4 greens in regulation here, and these two up that are closest are actually the Titleist. Oh, thank you, Bob, you didn't have to pick that up. They're actually the Titleist. Is that falling out of my pocket there? They're the Titleist. We've got Tacoma here and here. So you look at the dispersion there. I know this is a very small sample test, but the Titleist is actually performing really, really well just with those KBS shafts in. So could that LA Golf shaft, like I said, with it being a cold November's morning, just be not quite working out for me like it would do? I take them out to Spain and they're beautiful. I feel like they're very reactive. They're doing exactly what I want. Here, am I just steering them a little bit because of the temperature and everything else? We're going to have to give this round to the Titleist. Let's talk mid-irons, because mid-irons, it calms down a bit. It settles down nicely. Before we do, let's just talk, I'm terrible with my left hand. Let's talk pitching wedge, because we've looked at the kind of full distance here, but I do quite like the idea of having the bladed wedge for around the greens like this. So I'm not a fan of using it from like 50, 60 yards, but around here where you've just got, what, 20 yard, Bob, nothing in front, you can just kind of play those nice little kind of scuttly ones where it looks like you've played an awful shot, but realistically it's a percentage shot. With this bladed Tacoma head, I feel like I'm nice and consistent with that, and I can play the distance that I want to time after time. Now the T150 is good at this. I'm not saying that this isn't good. It's not, I don't know if it's the leading edge or the sole, but I don't feel like it's quite as nippy. It does look a little bit more rounded. I'll prove myself wrong here and hole one of these. But realistically, I do feel like I like both of these pitching wedges for this kind of shot. Would I maybe go, see that? I don't do that with the bladed one. I don't know what that is. It's still done very, very well. But could I have gone like a Titleist MB for just the pitching wedge, maybe? I mean, the way I've hit those pitching wedges on full shots, maybe not. But I do like how they're wearing, you know, like on the lead. It's that I like. It's like a sawn off leading edge. Whereas with this one, it's more of a kind of flat leading edge. And on the MB, you do get that. But again, we're nitpicking, Bob, aren't we? We're nitpicking. So I said it gets nice and simple when it comes to the mid-irons. You can see here these 7-irons do resemble each other rather well. So the T150 is slightly stronger lofted than the 301 CB, but we've got the same kind of shaft setup, same shaft length, same lie angle, same everything. So I do feel as though that ball's going to be massively above my feet, Bob, innit? You know what, let's go out the rough. Test them from here, a flat lie from the rough. The rain's coming already, Bob. Right. So we'll start at the right hand bunker and try and just move it in ever so slightly. Tacoma 7-iron. Look at that. That's exactly what I wanted, isn't it? That's beautiful. Just on that left hand side. And the funny thing is, a lot of people say, I don't know if that was a mud ball because it moved a bit weird, didn't it? It was nice though. A lot of people say, oh James, why do you go and get so many club fittings? Just stick with a club. I do that. This is what we do. Like, we do this for the content for you guys, and I'm very aware of how lucky I am to be able to do this and go to some of the best fitting centres, if not the best fitting centre in the world, SGGT, and of course Woburn and PXG and Vice and everywhere else. I hope you enjoy the content because I love it. I love learning and spending time with these brands. It does then leave me in a predicament that I've got all these clubs and I don't know what's best for me to use because I enjoy playing good golf. I don't compete, so it's not really the end of the world. But I do like, everyone enjoys playing better golf, don't they? And I've had these Tacomos in the bag for like nearly 2 years. So if we talk kind of test of time, they have done a really, really good job for me. That's just short as well, actually. So maybe we're a little bit far away to hitting this, but, or is the wind stronger than what we think? Can the 150, if the 150 gets there, this will be interesting because I've not even really compared these. This is the first comparison I've done. I wanted you guys to be a part of it and see it. So let's go T150. One of the first rounds I played with them before I got them fitted was at Big Cedar Lodge. I shot 5 under par and it was my best ever round. I mean, I putted like the lights out, but it was still very, very good and impressive. Oh, this will be interesting because that's all over it. That definitely launched lower, didn't it? Is that just up there, front edge? Funny how that launched totally different to the Tacoma with the LA Golf shaft. And again, I'm thinking here, I do think it's the shafts. I think the KBS is a more forgiving shaft, could you say, at this temperature? I've got that in my head and I don't know if it's a thing. I mean, it could be. Could it be a thing? It can be a thing, can't it? That's what my wife would say, Bob, thanks. Right, same shot. Can we get it up there to the flag? Oh, I've just turned that over a touch. That's going to be with the first one, but that's up there. Now, let's go and see where all those are finished. Let's put these divots back and leave the course in a better state than what we found it, and let's discuss these 7-irons. Right, so luckily, these have all gone pretty much the same distance. We are short, so I think we've bitten off a bit too much than we can chew into the wind there. But to be honest, I'm quite happy with that as a collective dispersion. Yes, it would be nice to have gone further. We should have got closer to this green, but realistically, we've got, what have we got? So we've got a Tacoma and a Titleist. That's the Titleist that I absolutely ripped. It went a little bit lower and I thought it was going to be really, really good. And that's the first shot with the Tacoma. Give that Titleist because it's a bit closer dispersion. So I think the Titleist is the winner there, and I've got some proper thinking to do, especially in the off-season here about these shafts, because I do feel like they're just becoming a little bit stiff in the colder temperatures. Guys, if you enjoyed that, smash that subscribe button below. Thank you so much for your time once again, and hats off to the guys here because it's absolutely fantastic. Because they've got new staff. Hello! Okay, so I think it's fair to say we put all these clubs through their paces, and one of the big things that I was really interested to see here was just how these clubs can perform for numbers, because I've used both sets of these clubs on the golf course for quite some time. Obviously the Tacomas have been in the bag for the best part of 2 years and a year with these shafts now, and I wasn't really surprised by any of the numbers. Pitching wedges carrying kind of just shy of that 130 mark, spinning nicely and stopping as you would imagine. They both feel fantastic. I think if I was to separate these clubs for feel, I think the Titleist feel that tiny bit softer, but that stout LA Golf shaft in the Tacomos doesn't help that because it does make them feel that little bit firmer. So again, back to the numbers, we're going to get a chart up in a minute and show you just exactly what we are seeing, but I did feel like some of the Titleist, I was just getting a little bit more out of them. I was just potentially feeling as though, especially with the long iron and that hollow bodied design, we were starting to see more and more benefit from that. So looking at the numbers, as you can see here, we do have the numbers for the Tacomos on the left hand side of the table and the Titleist on the right. So 4 iron, we had a little bit more ball speed with the Titleist, which I would imagine because of that hollow body design, and a bit low spin, so that went quite a long way further. The 7 iron, they were very, very similar. I couldn't really split them. You can see ball speed similar, spin rate similar, and of course those distances very, very similar as well. Now, funnily enough, with the pitching wedge, I do feel like the Titleist pitching wedge could go that little bit further. I had some mishits that I really got away with, and that cavity back design maybe helping me more than the 301 blade in the pitching wedges.